A woman who encourages you to commit adultery is not your friend. If a woman is speaking in this very soft tone and is helping you to justify why you cheated on your wife, then know that woman serves the agenda of Shaitan. Because there is no justification for you cheating as a man. Absolutely none whatsoever. You cannot have this double standard where if a woman cheats, it's bad, but if a man cheats, well, it's just part of his nature. Because if we're going to go with a nature argument, we would know already that women have desires as well. When her husband goes to enlist in the military, he might be gone for months at a time. She's not allowed to masturbate. She's not allowed to watch pornography. She's not allowed to use sex toys. She's not allowed to cheat. So if you're going to talk about holding people to a higher standard, the men have to also hold themselves to a higher standard. You do not get to cheat because of you not being able to control your pee-pee. Right? That's just not something that is allowed at all in Islam or Christianity. If you go through and check how many times adultery is mentioned in Islam and Christianity, it should be abundantly clear to you that it is not acceptable. There's no loophole. It does not say that you get to cheat on your wife. It does not say that at all. It's fully condemned. So any woman who's saying, well, a woman wins if she just stays with a rich guy who cheats on her. She won. How did she win? She didn't win anything. She won to die surrounded by materialistic objects while not having the joy of a loyal partner. How is that a win? It's not a win at all. So when we see women like PearlyThings who are being entirely disingenuous, who are promoting that women should turn a blind eye to cheating, aka enable men to cheat on their wives simply because they're high value. This is helping them to earn hellfire. This is helping them to incur the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyone who encourages you to sin and doesn't condemn you for it or advise you against it is not your friend, and they're not serving anything towards tradition at all. It's fascinating how the Christian right-wing men have not recognized how Pearl is actually advocating satanic behavior. Because there are lust demons. To be a hedonist is not spiritual. To fornicate is not spiritual. And to cheat on your wife after you've made holy vows to stay faithful, that is not behavior that should be condoned or spread. Yet PearlyThings asked a woman in this video called Post-Wall Woman So Jealous, She's Too Jealous, or whatever, right? She basically said, would you give up monogamy for the right guy, aka turn a blind eye to let him cheat? And that she said, well, if you accept it, doesn't mean you like it, but you accept it and you stay because you got money. And you do it for the kids. So what Pearl is doing here now is threatening women subliminally that if you don't allow your man to cheat, you're going to be homeless with your kids. So this then makes the feminists go nuts and say, look, you have pick-me, red pill women who are luring men to cheat on their wives. And now the solution means women must be able to walk away from emotional and sexual abuse and financial abuse to go to a relationship with someone else, or just be happy being alone and with their family or whatever if they got their kids. But you have to have money in order to leave a relationship, because if a man's going to demand that you don't work, you're going to be financially stuck with him, and you don't want him bringing home an STD or getting another woman pregnant or just openly disrespecting you in the community by being known as a fornicator and adulterer. That is not something to be sought for. That's not high value behavior. So these feminists will then validly point out that to be stuck with someone who cheats on you is terrible and you should have a way out. Then the feminists go further and say, okay, you're going to marry that fornicator, but then you're going to try to take some of his wealth, and then that creates more MGTOW red pill men. So it's a self-eating, self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, because these people create each other. Except when a woman encourages a man to cheat on his wife and then encourages women to accept adultery, she's serving the devil. Because only the devil would encourage you to do behavior that is going to earn you hellfire. It's very serious. And think about it. Why would a Christian want to listen to a woman who is encouraging the breaking of families? Adultery ruins families. It is natural and normal for a woman to hate adultery because God hates it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates it. Whether you're a Christian or Muslim, it is fully condemned and it is a hated action. You are not supposed to get horny by thinking about it. This is the problem with the pornography culture. You're just not allowed to condone it, to allow it. You're supposed to fight evil, and adultery is evil because it literally can mentally and emotionally and spiritually destroy a woman. And if it hurts men when they get cheated on, why would they then turn around and demand that a woman never ever cheat? It's a hypocrisy there. You admit as men that it hurts to get cheated on when you love that woman because it's a betrayal. But then you'll hear men turn around and say, well, the woman should just accept cheating. This is a form of abuse. This is terrible. This is not healthy. This is not good for society. And telling young girls that they should just expect and deal with fornication and adultery running rampant in their society, and that if they accidentally, well, I shouldn't say accidentally, but if they end up, unfortunately, getting with a man who cheats, that they have to stay because they're going to be financially ruined. This is a very dangerous message to send to men and women, because this is going to lead to actual murders. It's going to lead to homicides. It's going to lead to a lot of negative energy, because you cannot expect there to be negative consequences when a man openly and blatantly cheats on his woman and has complete callousness and disregard for her mental and emotional well-being. A good woman who has a soft heart, is nurturing, and cares about her children is not going to love a man who she knows is openly cheating on her. She's going to be hyper materialistic, which breeds into the feminist narrative, and she's going to turn off her emotions towards you and become what they call more masculine, according to them. And this is not a good example for the children to see. It's not a healthy dynamic. It's not something to be spread. So PearlyThings is getting money from young, unmarried, childless men who probably live with their parents still, or they live in a very small studio apartment with a bunch of roommates or whatever. They don't really have any status yet, or they have these kind of porn fantasies in their head from Pornhub or whatever, and they don't actually know the woman's mind and what they can lose if they cheat. Pearl is not going to be there for them when he cheats and then he tries to lecture her with some red pill philosophy. She's going to buy, and a woman can start out saying, sure, you can cheat, but she might flip the script. So red pill guys will shame men who are cucked and like to have open relationships, while they themselves promote women who are a female cuck. And being a female cuck is just as bad as being a male cuck. I'm sorry. If you think it's healthy that another woman, that the woman you want to be with and marry wants to see you sleep with another woman, that is bad. In Islam, we have polygamy. We want to have children. We want to build the Islamic civilization. Women who are more calm and kind of set in their ways, becoming second, third, fourth wife, they understand that hopefully that the women who are involved in the marriage will not cheat within the marriage, and that the man will not cheat on his wives and go with even more women, that it would be confined. So even if a man is polygamous, if he cheats on his wives, he's still committing an act of adultery. He is not allowed to cheat. So people confuse polygamy with fornication and adultery. And this is quite different. And if you notice, that's very scary to think about people mixing the two, because it's a very pornographic orgy scene that people are trying to put in the heads of people of what polygamy is, and this puts young, vulnerable reverts at a high risk of sexual abuse and human trafficking, because people will sit there and tell them, oh, well, you're my second, third, fourth wife, and, well, I'm going to do all this stuff to you. And then she doesn't understand that her rights are being violated, that the guy isn't acting according to Islam, or it's not even an Islamic relationship. Let's say it's just a regular person trying to do polygamy. She could be totally set up in a way that is not healthy and very pornographic, and she can be exploited. So we have to be very mindful of what narratives are being pushed, and if a woman is pushing a narrative to young men and women that it's okay to cheat as long as you have money, and you should turn a blind eye and you shouldn't condemn him, and that if you know in your heart he's cheating, like a Camilla Soprano, it's okay if you get to wear a diamond bracelet, it's okay if you get to take a ride in his Bugatti, but he just was done banging a chick in the front seat. Like, it's all totally okay. It's not okay. It's not okay, and it'll never be okay, because Allah has condemned it. For the Christians, Jehovah Yahweh has condemned it. It's not allowed, period. So Pearl is not being God-fearing if she's trying to create a loophole for any man to use to justify his weakness. No. Urge men to say, don't cheat. Just don't do it. Do not do it. It's a good deed to not cheat, therefore do it. It's a bad deed to cheat, therefore don't do it. Do not cheat. Stay loyal. Do that instead. Because Allah is swift in accounting. He'll reward you for not cheating. And Prophet Yusuf, may Allah be pleased with him, he did not sleep with a very beautiful woman. He resisted. He controlled his urges. You should be like that as well and control your urges. Stay faithful. None of the prophets condoned adultery and fornication. Be like them. Be mindful. Don't freaking cheat on your wives. Don't listen to Pearl.